Sometimes to have real growth as a person, you have to admit when you were wrong. I, unfortunately, had the
temerity, the unmitigated gall, the blasphemy
to question the great Al Ewing. With all the fire things that this man has created, I know of all people to just let this man cook. Because this book right here, whew. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, buckle up your seatbelts. It's not a long ride, but it's a good one. My name is Dorian. This is SEM Comics. We are covering the complete Sins of Sinister series with Storm and the Brotherhood of Mutants #2. So ever since Sinister took over, if you don't have a red diamond on your forehead, or you're not under the protection of Mother Righteous or Orbis Solaris, if you're just out here in the universe, you're pretty much like,
if you listen, help.
So our story starts off with a very old looking Novar, aka Marvel Boy. Now he's a Kree warrior from alternate reality, and I guarantee he wishes he was back there right now. And who's ever showed up to their base, they're asking for cycle codes to identify who they are, and they're giving it to him. And then Novar goes, asks for the next cycle codes. And then the alien dude's like, we didn't generate the next cycle codes. He goes, ask anyway. And he asks, they give it to him. He generates it in his computer, and he's like, it's an exact match to what it was going to be next. And Novar goes, well, that explains who our guest is, and it's Destiny. Now, if you've been keeping up with all the books of the Sins of Sinister story arc like we have on the channel, then this next page will reward your due diligence. If not, your boy got you. You just click the link in the description to our Sins of Sinister playlist. So obviously the Brotherhood is giving Destiny all kinds of hell about keeping this timeline going, because it is directly her fault. And she goes in on Ironfire. She goes, even Exodus gave up his one-man religion. He left his Messiah to be eaten alive by the Shatari. She's talking about Hope Summers, and that happened in Immortal X-Men #2, which we just covered. So then he goes, well, that's Sinister's for you. She just puts her hand on her face and she's like, give me strength. And then she goes, you, Cable, or should I say X-Man. Now, for those of you that have read Age of Apocalypse, you know the significance of that statement. She's like, are you too worm-ridden to give a damn about your own daughter's death? And then he goes, this body is more history than it is humanity, and there's a dead loved one on every page, Irene Adler, and they will all be avenged. And then she just flips out, takes off her mask, and she goes, well, what about my dead, you maggot idol corpse? What about my bitches? What about Mystique? So on the next page, we have Destiny pleading with Mystique not to go out there and not to be reckless. And Mystique's like, look, you might not like this side, but this is who I am. And she's like, and we're the reason why this timeline is so shitty. And the Brotherhood needs our help to try to set this timeline straight. And she's like, I don't want to live forever stuck in your vault. And then you see her leading Freedom Force, which is her. There's a female Nova, and then you got Hercules looking like Jesse the Body Ventura and Predator with that Gatling gun.
Payback time.
Destiny goes, she wanted to live forever with Mystique, or as much as forever as they can steal. That was enough for Destiny, but it was not enough for Mystique. Then she's like, a red diamond on your forehead, a gold ball on the flag, what's it all worth? And all you hear is somebody say, everything. And then you hear a commander on deck, and then Storm comes out looking old as hell in an old school Charles Xavier like hover chair. So the sparring match that Storm and Destiny are about to have is classic. So Destiny goes, how's your war against the entire galaxy? And Storm's like, not as lonely as I suspect, nor as cold. And Destiny's like, I sure won't be when the Compact, that's Orbis Solaris people, come swarm this sector like flies. If I could find you, they could find you. And then the monstrous looking female behind Storm goes, oh yeah, is that a threat, Faceless? And then Storm's like, easy Ghana. So when Storm goes, obviously it's a threat. We don't have to be rude. Is there a carrot to go with that stick, Irene? How can my humble rebellion help you today? I'm not gonna lie, when I read that, I laughed my ass off. So now there's no games. Now we get the real Destiny. She goes, once we offer you a chance to end this cleanly. At the time, it was a lie. I simply had too much to lose. But now, Raven's dead, the galaxy's on fire, and we have lost everything. It's time to end this phase of the game, Aurora. it's time to kill Mara for real. Now you can't tell me that Al Ewing, Kieron Gillen, and Si Spurrier aren't living their best lives right now. Immortal X-Men #2 might as well have been straight out of Star Trek. And this is straight out of Star Wars. So they're in warp space and it goes battleship to all X fighters. Might as well be X-Wing fighters. This is the Accuser at the helm. Now I don't know if that's the person who is piloting the ship or whether that's the name of the ship. If that's the name of the ship, that is a cool ass name for a ship. Shout out to Ronan. So you got Iron Fighter and X-Fighter Red, you got Shot Jock and X-Fighter Blue, and you got X-Man and X-Fighter Gold. So they come out of warp drive and you see that Orbis Solaris has built a gold ball fortress the size of a moon. Now, what's that look like to you? I'll give you a hint. They even call it the Death Spear. I got a better name for it. Now, Orbis Solaris has everybody working for him. He has Skrulls, he has Doombots. It's pretty much a mixture of every alien you could think of in the Marvel Universe. And he won't come out of his own spear for nothing. He's pretty much telling them inside the spear to send all their forces out there to meet the rebels. So all these little battle spears come out of the big spear. And then we see Kora start to use her mutant ability on Destiny. Storm wants Destiny to pretty much predict the future, and she's going to use X-Men to broadcast it to the crew. And then Destiny's like, okay, but I can be projecting their infinite deaths. Even I can gain a system, but for so long. Raven's death is proof of that. So then Destiny goes, the future is set, we will win. And then it cuts to Ironfire. He's visited by Mother Righteous. Now Mother Righteous is messing with Ironfire, but pretty much she's there because she wants a ringside seat to see what exactly happens. So then the Skrull goes, what's wrong with our troops? They can't draw a bead on them. How are they so lucky? And Orbis Solaris like, it's not luck, it's destiny. And then he realizes, he's like, we sent all of our troops out there and there's nobody here to defend us. And they was like, close the hatch before, but it's too late. And they get through the hatch door. So as soon as they make it into the spear, all you hear is Storm say, do it. And you hear Destiny go, till next time, my love, and sees a sword cuts right down the middle of her. So then Marvel Boy is like, all right, it's time to end this. But then Storm surprisingly is like, no, we're not just going to end this. And she's pretty much starts to say that because Arakko was destroyed doesn't mean we need to destroy this universe. This universe still supports life, which also supports hope. And then she's like, Sinister's lab is an abomination which we need to defuse. And if we can't defuse it, then we must protect it with our lives. And the X-Man's like, that's a nice thought, but once they get those hatch doors back open, it's going to be literally shooting fish in a barrel. So Kora starts using her mutant power on Storm, and Storm used her power to create a wormhole, which she was able to take Sinister's lab and themselves through, which I didn't know wormholes were a weather phenomenon, but hell, comics. So now this is the best part of the comic. Orbis Solaris is beside himself. He's like, they just made a clean getaway with the lab, which all that data would take a millennia to recalculate. He's like, a controlled wormhole just ate him up. And to add insult to injury, my life's work was destroyed by a blastic magic spell. So then the Skrull goes, Overlord, there's surely something that can be done. And Orbis Solaris is like, you're right. There's always something that can be done. Computer, switch off life support. This dude just pulled a Matt Hardy and deleted himself. Orbis Solaris is like the warden from Shawshank Redemption. He was not about to be disgraced, or at least he wasn't going to live to see it. But he is not the only person to leave his people without a leader. Because as we turn to the last page, we see Kora's crying because she realizes that Storm gave everything she had to create that wormhole, and now she has passed. So SCM Nation, I ask this question. Will the Brotherhood honor Storm's dying wish and protect Sinister's lab? Because we know that the timeline eventually is going to be reset and they're going to have to kill the Myras. But how's it going to happen? Is it going to be one of them that does it, or is it going to be somebody else? Let me know how you feel like this is going to end in the comments.